I lost $1,000 on a product that I didn't sell a single unit of. The worst part, I could have avoided the whole thing had I done what I'm about to teach you in this very video. Stay tuned. If you have ever had a product idea that you were absolutely convinced was going to sell, so you invested your time, your money, your energy into it, and then it completely bombed, this video is for you. And if you're sitting there thinking, I haven't launched yet, but I'm about to, this video is especially for you because I'm about to share what could save you from making one of the most expensive mistakes a product founder can make. So the thing is, a great idea is not the same thing as a profitable one. And the difference between the two lies in one word: validation. But before we get into it, I want to be honest, and I want you to be honest with me right now. If you have ever launched a product, a collection, a business idea, anything without doing real research or validation beforehand, comment guilty in all caps. I just want to be honest with you because I've been there before too, okay? And I'm going to tell you my story so that you can feel a little bit more comfortable around here, okay? So I'm going to take you back to 2018. I was still in corporate America, but I was already at the verge, okay? I had helped large multi-million-dollar companies with their marketing. I had been on a student-led research team for a billion-dollar company. I knew branding, I knew strategy, I knew business. And I thought, I could really do this entrepreneurship thing. I'm smarter than a lot of what I see out here. So I started launching random things, and one of those things was called Vanity Hair Fair. Now, let me be clear. 2018 was the year where it felt like everybody and their mama had figured out the cheat code for selling bundles. Everybody was getting their hair from Alibaba, AliExpress, DHgate, wherever, and selling Brazilian hair. And I'm watching all of this happen, and I'm thinking, okay, well, if everybody's selling it, there must be some money in it. Now, the embarrassing truth is I do not do hair. I repeat, I do not do hair. The most I know how to do is to make my avocado banana deep conditioning mask situation, co-wash it out, and call it a day. I don't know how to grow edges back. I don't know how to style hair, and I barely know how to curl it. And I say that with full confidence, baby, because none of that has stopped me from deciding to launch this hair boutique. So I put together a little logo. I made a price card with all the different types of bundles. I created a Facebook page, and I ordered enough hair for maybe 3 bundle packs or so because typically people buy 2 or 3 sets of bundles. And I put in maybe roughly around $1,000 between the hair and the thank you cards and everything else. Do you want to know how much money I made back? $0. Zilch. Not a single sale. Because I didn't validate a single thing. I literally picked something I saw everybody else doing, and I thought to myself, well, if it's working for them, it absolutely can work for me, and it abso-freaking-lutely did not. Because that is not how this works. And what's crazy is that I was doing validation work every single day for these larger companies. I just didn't conceptualize that same process that I had applied to them to me. But the moment I actually did that and I made the connection, that's when everything changed. That's when I was able to do major launches, with my most memorable being when I made $45,000 in 5 days. But that's a story for another video. Today, though, I want to give you the exact validation framework that I wish I had way back in 2018. Because your time is valuable, your money is valuable, and your energy is valuable too. And none of those things should be wasted on a product that the market simply doesn't want. So let's get into it. Here's my validation framework. Now, the first 2 steps are specifically for the person who is starting from absolute zero. You don't have a business yet. You don't have an idea. Maybe you got a dream. Maybe you're still trying to figure out where to start. If you already have an established brand and you're just launching something new, you can skip ahead to step number 3. Although I absolutely think that you should listen anyway, because this might fill some gaps that you didn't know that you had. So step number 1, we're going to assess your skill set. And I know this sounds basic, but hear me out, because this is where most people skip ahead too fast. You want to reflect on what you're truly good at. What certifications, degrees, or natural talents do you have? What have you spent time, money, money and energy developing because business won't always be fun. Entrepreneurship is difficult at times, but what makes it enjoyable is when you choose something that actually aligns with what you're skilled to do. If you spent 10 years perfecting the craft of sewing, making clothes from scratch, building your skills as a seamstress, why in the world would you wake up one day and decide that you want to sell makeup? That doesn't even make sense. And yet people do this all the time, just like I did with hair. I had no business starting a hair boutique. None. I had zero skills, zero knowledge, zero background, and it cost me $1,000 to figure that out. Don't be 2018 me. Now, could I ever be involved in a hair care business? Maybe, but it would have to look like me bringing my branding and marketing expertise to the table while partnering with someone who actually knows hair. That's the smart version, and it's way more aligned with me and my actual skill set. Step number 2 is we're going to discover your interests and your passions. Once you've assessed your skill set, you want to discover your interests and your passions by asking yourself, is there an intersection between what I'm skilled at and what I'm actually passionate about? This intersection, when you can find it, is your sweet spot. It is where your product idea lives, and it doesn't always happen perfectly, but that's okay. If you can find that overlap between your skill and your passion, you are much further ahead than someone who just picked something because it was trending. Which then takes us to step number 3, and this one right here is for everybody. Whether you are starting from scratch or adding to an existing business, this is called market forecasting. And it's exactly what it sounds like. You're looking ahead to see what the market is doing. Is your industry growing? Is there demand for the type of product that you want to create? What are the projections? I'm going to tell you exactly how I do this. I Google projections for blank industry, and I look at the data, and it shows me whether that industry is trending up or down. My favorite sites to do this are 360researchreports.com and marketresearchfuture.com. These are research sites that give you actual data on industry trends and growth projections. I don't want you to guess and think that just because everybody in your neighborhood has been talking about something lately means that it's popping. No, you need to use data to make informed decisions. This is what big brands do before they invest a single dollar into product development. And now you're going to do it too. Step number 4, we're going to find the problem. This is where things get really interesting and honestly a little fun if you really get into it. Based on the product and the industry that your research is pointing you toward, you are going to do a deep dive. Go to different sites that sell products like yours and read reviews. Not just the 5-star reviews, but the 3-star and below ones. Those are where the gold is. People will tell you exactly what they wish the product did differently, what's missing, and what frustrated them. You can also go onto forums like Reddit, Facebook groups, all those places where your potential customers hang out, and see what they're complaining about. What are they searching for, and what keeps coming up over and over again for them? And do some self-reflection too. If you've personally struggled to find a product to solve a specific problem, think about that and think about what those struggles are. And then have people close to you complained about something in that same arena? What are those things that they complained about? And jot down those struggles. Step number 5, and this is my favorite, it's what I call the PS analysis. It's problem plus product equates to the solution. This is the make or break formula for whether or not your product is actually going to be profitable. Here's how it works. You've done your research, you found the gaps and the problems. Now you're going to take one of those specific problems and build your product around solving it. Let me give you an example. Say you want to be in the hair care space. You're researching and you keep seeing women complain that every time they put on a wig, their edges get pulled out. Now you create a wig cap specifically designed to protect their edges. Bada bing, bada boom. Problem plus product just gave you a solution. And because you know that specific problem, you can target specifically with your messaging. You can dominate that corner of the market. That's what makes a product profitable, and that's what skyrockets a brand. Not you trying to solve everything for everybody, but solving one specific thing for one specific person really, really well. And I'll tell you from experience, trying to be everything to everyone creates confused buyers, and confused buyers don't buy. Pick your lane and own it, respectively. And listen, you do all of this work to validate your product. You build it around a real problem, you launch it, and then what? Most founders stop right there. Somebody buys it and they're like, great, next. But you are leaving so much money on the table. Every single person who lands on your store and decides to buy is already in buyer mode. They already have their card out, and that is the moment to you to say, hey, would you want this too? That's called increasing your average order value. And it's one of the fastest ways to grow revenue without finding a single new customer. Big brands have been doing this forever. And now you can too, because the tool I use for this is called upsell.com, who happens to be the sponsor of today's video. And if you're on Shopify, this is generally something that you need. You install it directly onto your store, and it sets up your pre and post-purchase upsells seamlessly. And they even have cool AI-powered recommendations, one-click offers after checkout, bundle deals, thank you page upsells. The whole thing is seamless, and it takes about 5 minutes to set up. You can start for free by clicking the link in my description. You are actually going to get 30 full days for free. And then before a plan kicks in, you actually get a discount on that too. So there's zero reason not to try it. So go ahead and grab it. I'm going to leave the link down below. Beyond the framework, I want to give you some additional ways to do market research because this is uber important. I already mentioned market forecasting sites, but when it comes to understanding your audience on a deeper level, like who they are, how they think, what they're struggling with, I love using Pew Research. I also love Think with Google, and Google Trends is incredible for seeing what people are actually searching for. Because what somebody searches in the privacy of their own home tells you everything about what problems they're actually trying to solve out loud in real life. It's low-key like you're spying on them. Now, direct consumer research, this is probably one of my favorite methods because it's the most real, and we had to do this all the time at UF. If you know someone who fits the profile of your ideal buyer, go talk to them. Ask them questions. I literally did this about a week or two ago when I was refining a product inside of my brand development and training company. I found 3 people who matched my ideal buyer profile, sent them a document and said, hey, read this, share your thoughts, tell me what resonates, tell me what doesn't, and give me real-time feedback. I got real feedback from real people, and that is priceless. The next type of market research you can do is surveys. You can send surveys to people who match your ideal buyer profile. Ask them specific questions about the problem that you're solving. What have they tried before? What frustrated them about those solutions? And what would they want instead? The data that you get back will literally write your product positioning and messaging for you. Then you have interviews and focus groups. Get people in a room. This can be virtual or physical if you can. Have a real conversation and ask open-ended questions that let them give you developed, detailed answers. This is how you get the insights that surface research just can't give you. What I love about this is I actually use exactly what they say to develop messaging angles. Then you have beta testing. After you've already done your research and developed your product, before you do a full launch, you can beta test. So that way you can get your product in the hands of real people and collect real feedback. And if you have a physical product, I highly recommend shipping it as a part of the beta test. Why? Well, because shipping your product through the mail means that it has to go through multiple facilities to get to the recipient. Find somebody who lives far enough away so that you can have that package travel to them through a minimum of 2 or 3 facilities at once. It could be your mom, your auntie, your sister, your cousin. It doesn't really matter. You just need to test whether the packaging can stand the test of time under real shipping conditions. You need to know, will it survive the journey before your paying customers have to find out that it won't the hard way? If you remember the pink sauce lady, you remember that a lot of things went wrong for her, but one of them was the way that she shipped her products. People were receiving pink sauce that was busted open in their envelopes. Some of it had mold. It was disgusting. I would never buy that personally. I don't care if it was pink. That is nasty. And that is not what bomb CEOs do. Bomb CEOs with bomb brands operate as such. We just don't do stuff like that, okay? Now, you just learned how to make sure that your product is worth investing in, but here's what I want you to understand. A validated product is just the starting point. What actually makes the product sell consistently, what makes people choose you over and over again over all the other options out there, is the brand behind the product. A strong brand is what makes you likable before someone ever buys. It's what creates loyalty so that first-time buyers become repeat customers, and it's what makes sales feel natural instead of forced. And that is exactly what I'm building for you. I'm giving you a complimentary pass to my upcoming training, and inside of it, we are going to talk about exactly how to build a brand that supports the product you just validated. So whether you get in free or you decide to upgrade, you want to make sure that you're on the wait list so you are first in the room when doors open. I'm going to leave that link in my description as well. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to first, if you have a product idea that you haven't validated yet, do not spend another dollar on it until you've run it through the PS analysis. Make sure your problem is real, documented, and specific. Second, pick one market research method from what I shared today and use it this week. Whether it's using Google Trends, researching from surveys, or whether it's reaching out to 3 people who match your ideal buyer or diving into reviews. Do it this week, not someday. Third, I want you to get on the wait list because validation is one thing, but building a brand that makes your validated product impossible to ignore, that's the next level unlock. And last but not least, I want to make sure that you are subscribed to this channel because we have a lot of good videos coming up. Make sure that you follow me on Instagram at The Brand Hustler as well. And thank you again to Upsell.com for sponsoring this video. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.